There is a cat on my lap. She's also my lap warmer because it is a little chilly here. I know you wouldn't know by what I'm wearing. Hello, Susan. Welcome. Good morning. Hello. Excuse me. I haven't talked this morning, so my voice is all scratchy. This is Naga. This is my kitty. She's very cute. She's a little petite kitty. She's young. She's like less than a year old. And this is her favorite thing, getting her neck scratched like this. She just loves it. And y'all, she has a cool little backstory. Like, my friend found her in the jungle, actually. And she was just like wild kitty. And he pounced on her and like captured her and brought her home because he thought she was really cute. And it was like a really remote part of the island. It didn't seem like she had a home. And he brought her here to this place. And the previous tenant took care of her for a little while. And then I moved in. And I've been taking care of her ever since. And yes, now she's an indoor kitty. She's trained. She's very smart. Welcome, everyone. I was just sharing about little Naga, her origin story. But yes, she is very near and dear to my heart, my kitty daughter. I've never had a cat like this inside, so it's very fun. Anyway, so we're gonna do a Q&A today. I've got my celery juice. I made like too much. So this is, I think, like 24 ounces, and then this is another ounce or two. So I'm gonna take a little shot. The only kind of shot I take these days, celery juice and some barley grass juice powder. All right, so before we get started, I just wanted to tell y'all I have a free recipe ebook you can get. That link is in my bio, as well as my brand new recipe book that is beautiful and amazing and comes as an ebook and as a paperback. That one's also available in my bio. You can get 11% off the ebook with code JOYFUL, and I think that's just for a couple more days, so get on it. The book is great. I've gotten really good feedback so far, and the recipes are great. There are 46 raw vegan recipes, lots of good like transitional recipes too if you want stuff that just like tastes good. There's lots of different things and like some fancier things, some more like holiday kind of vibe, some heartier, heavier, but still raw things, and yeah, and then some simpler things as well. Lots of overt fat-free recipes, and then some with healthy plant fats too. But yeah, real diversity there, and lots of information about Ayurveda and tips for your dosha, which we'll be talking about a little bit today. Got some Ayurveda questions in, got some other questions, some microgreen questions. I look over there because my microgreens are over there. I'll be showing y'all all the things you need to get started with your microgreens, and also what I have growing right now, which isn't a whole lot because I'm going to be leaving for the mainland for a week in just a few days. So I'm like in the process of like eating all of my living foods and not like planting more. So let's get started. Hello everyone, thanks for being here. Our first question is a great one. It's like no duh, right? But it's true. So why do vegans eat fake meat? If vegans are against eating animals, then why eat food that's meant to taste like animals? Hey Olivia, we're just diving into the questions. So yeah, it's like, why would you want things that taste like animals and meat if you don't want to eat animals and meat anymore? I hear you, okay? Like, I don't personally do that. I don't eat fake meat. I eat raw vegan. There is no raw vegan fake meat to my knowledge, unless you're making something with like jackfruit or mushrooms or you know, it's a whole food thing. So I think what this person is referring to is like the processed kind of packaged fake meats. And I honestly don't even know what's out there because I don't buy it. You know, I'm staying in the produce section. And I was really lucky that when I went vegan, you know, I did some tofu, I did some tempeh. I remember the first time I tried tempeh, I was like, this is actually pretty gross. So I didn't know you really need to marinate it and steam it and do some different things to it to make it taste actually pretty good. And then you start liking it. But beyond the tofu and tempeh, I wasn't doing any kind of meat substitute. And then I didn't really encounter meat substitutes until I was chefing at a meditation center in Vermont that was like, it was Buddhist, but it wasn't vegetarian. Like, they serve meat there 3 times a day. Like, it was outrageous. But I came in and I was like, all right, we're gonna like veganize the kitchen. I'm making vegan food every time I'm on shift. Like, I'm not touching any kind of animal products whatsoever. And these people are gonna like the vegan food because I'm gonna make really awesome stuff. So they ordered a bunch of tofu and tempeh there, as well as the Beyond Chicken strips. And that was like my first time working with like Beyond Chicken or like kind of the fake meat type stuff, because the people ordering the food there were very much in that mindset that maybe many new vegans are in, which is, oh, I need a vegan protein with every meal. And instead of thinking the vegan protein can be like beans or greens, you know, if you're doing raw food or living foods, and that you don't really need to worry about the protein so much. I think the people ordering food were so much in that sad standard American diet mindset that they really wanted to make sure that there was protein, you know, being offered every meal. So that's why they're ordering the large quantities of tofu, tempeh, and then this Beyond Chicken. And the Beyond Chicken, like, I did work with it and I was like marinating it and doing different things. Honestly, whenever I was on shift and like, you know, designing the meals, I wasn't drawn to work with it. I mean, I did it like a couple times, but because they were like, we ordered so much, we need to use it. And I'm like, well, this is pretty gross. Like, I'm not into it. You know, I can make it taste good. You can make anything taste good if you marinate it long enough in the right flavors, and then, you know, pan fry it up or bake it until it's nice and crispy and has a good texture. But yeah, so I think that mindset is really important, is educating yourself on the fact that of what your actual protein needs are, and that you don't have to be eating these fake meat substitutes in order to be healthy and balanced. In fact, you'll probably do better if you steer clear of them. But I think you know, just kind of diving into the vegan logic and like vegan companies' logic about why they're creating these products, what I've heard is that they're trying to design foods that have the taste and the texture of these animal foods that are cruelty-free, that are actually created from plants and are not requiring the death of an animal, so that someone who's choosing between the dead animal option and the option that tastes and feels like dead animal but did not require the death of an animal and was in fact made with plants, someone has like pretty much an equal choice. One's cruelty free and plant-based, and the other is like, you know, cruel and dead animal. And, you know, I think just trying to like level the playing field is the logic I've heard, and that sounds really good until you like start looking at the ingredients and you're like, this is, I mean, it's often like really, really processed, lots of salt, lots of oil, preservatives, you know, different things. I think maybe some of them are cleaner than others. And as I said, I am not really like up to date on all the latest and greatest vegan fake meats out there, because that's just like, it's not on my radar. I'm not looking for that in the store. When I think protein, I'm thinking, am I getting greens in every meal? Can I have, you know, 2 heaping cups of microgreens in this smoothie and a second smoothie that I'm gonna have later, and like several cups of microgreens and sprouts with my dinner, and adequate calories so that I meet my protein needs. That's how I'm approaching it. So hey everyone coming in, hey Carly. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say about that. I was just talking about fake meats, fake vegan meats. So yeah, I just said here, I think long-term vegans get to the point where they're like they're not turned on by that. They're not going for the fake meats. And they, you know, if you educate yourself enough, you'll discover that you really don't need them. And I think their companies are doing like really creepy stuff now too, with like the artificial like stem cell cultured meats and things, and I would really stay away from that. Like, gross. Okay, that's super unnatural. What else are they putting in there? Are they trying to change our DNA? Like, my mind goes to like conspiracy theories. Are they trying to change my DNA and make me into a cyborg or something? Like, I'm not into that. Like, give me a big salad or, you know, a big plate of microgreens. We're gonna stick with the raw plant foods and the living foods, and that's where it's at. All right, so next question is, my dosha quiz said I'm equally pitta and kapha currently. How do I handle it? And the dosha quiz, just to let y'all know what that is linked in my bio. It's a free quiz. It's an Ayurvedic quiz that'll tell you what your dosha is. And dosha, I've done a bunch of posts on that. If you're like, what's Ayurveda? What's dosha? Dosha is like your basic constitution in this ancient Indian form of medicine that is actually like mainstream medicine in India today. It's really, really cool. And Ayurveda is like intimately tied with yoga too. So if you've ever practiced yoga, like Ayurveda is there too, even if it isn't really expressed in the West. So that's just that in a nutshell. And there are 3 doshas. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And everyone is a combination of all 3. But often someone can be just one, like just Pitta. Or it's more common, though, for someone to be a combination, which is what this person was asking about, the Pitta and Kapha together. And that they were both about equal. It's actually beneficial if you're 2, because then it's like easier to find balance. Whereas if you were just like, you know, extreme hardcore Vata, then it can be more difficult to find balance. But they're all good, and there's like no bad dosha. I want to be really clear about that. Some people think, oh no, which one's better? Or like, do I have the bad one? It's like, that's not how it works. They're all good. All living things have the doshas in them, because the doshas are combinations of elements. Okay, so to that question, I have the same amount of pitta and kapha. What do I do? The questions that came to my mind is the pitta manifesting more physically or mentally? Is it that you're having like a lot of inflammation and digestive issues, diarrhea, that kind of thing, like excessive sweating? You know, is it skin? I think this person is on here. So if you want to like say some more about, you know, what you're experiencing, you're welcome to. Understand, you know, everyone can see the comments. So if you're shy, that's okay too. Is the pitta manifesting more as like anger and like rage? Naga, out of there. She's woken up and she's like exploring. Do you want to go out? I think maybe. No, she's like, no, that's not it either. You know, how's the pitta manifesting? And the same with kapha. How's the kapha manifesting? Is it manifesting more physically with overweight, with, you know, gaining a lot of weight, emotional eating? I guess that would be more mental, but physical, you know, both. A lot of mucus formation, really oily skin, something like that. So how are these things manifesting? And like qualitatively, is one a little worse than the other? Are you like really more bothered personally by, see, she does want to go out. by the manifestation of pitta right now? Are you more bothered by that inflammation in your gut tract? I believe this person has some gut issues. You know, is that more the issue that's giving you more trouble right now? Then I would focus on pitta. If it's like the inflammatory bowel situation, then yeah, just focus on pitta right now. If it's like, you know, you're crazy mucusy right now, you can kind of like be adapting and mindful of both. But you know, if you're using my recipe book, you probably make the adjustments for pitta, I would say. And you know, you can look at both the pitta and kapha lifestyle recommendations and kind of go with what resonates and what you're intuitively drawn to. Because guess what? You are the one who heals. You know, you have the information inside you, and you can unlock it and start experimenting too. You know, maybe be more focused on pitta this week and see how that feels, and then you could change gears and focus more on lowering kapha the next week. So I hope that helps. You can DM me and we can talk more about that too, so that's fine. Okay, another question is, what dosha are you? What dosha am I? The person was asking. And I actually took the quiz again this morning. I've taken the quiz so many times, and you know, I've been analyzed by, good, I'm glad that helped. I've been analyzed by an Ayurvedic doctor who I learned from in India. And she didn't even really like tell me. I don't know if I was in a receptive state to even like take in what she had, because she was so against my raw vegan lifestyle. So anyway, when I first came into contact with Ayurveda, I was very much of the mind that I was Vata Pitta. I got this book, Healing Depression the Mind Body Way, and everything that was manifesting for me was like really clearly Vata Pitta. And then I've taken quizzes, you know, over the years, and you know, I've like come up as tridoshic a few times too, which in my mind, if I start trying to analyze myself, I'm like, I'm tridoshic, but like really that's pretty rare. So I am not like perfectly balanced tridoshic in all likelihood. That's what we're all kind of aspiring to. And I think, yeah, eventually I want to make like a meal plan or something that's like the tridoshic meal plan, like for ultimate balance. I think that would be really fun. But usually my quizzes come back. I think a couple years I took it and I was like pitta vata, with, yeah, I think pitta imbalance at that time. So I really worked on that the past couple years. When I took the quiz this morning, it told me I'm vata pitta, and that it really resonates as true. Yeah, Jamie, hey Jamie, your acupuncturist was against raw vegan. Yeah, I mean, it's like sad because a lot of these alternative therapists and healers are like, no, because it goes against Chinese medicine or it goes against Ayurveda, when it's like, does it really? You know, I've heard they don't think raw is best unless pitta with high digestive fire. Yeah, if you're pitta, like raw vegan is like amazing for you. Really, it should be like the prescribed diet. But you also have to remember these Ayurvedic people, and I think Chinese medicine, you know, maybe your acupuncturist, I don't know if that's Chinese medicine, but a lot of these practitioners are coming from the framework of like, we need meat and we need animal products, and Ayurveda is very strongly like ghee, that's the clarified butter, and you know, dairy products, like drinking the unpasteurized cow milk that is like treated as sacred by this cow that is also like treated as very sacred. And I think that's fine and that's beautiful, but man, I start ingesting some ghee and some unpasteurized cow milk, we can talk about like mucus and kapha imbalance, you know, very, very quickly, along with, you know, putting on weight and like congestion and all kinds of different issues and allergies. So I think that's where they're coming from. You made ghee once, not for me. Yeah, I liked it. Like right before I went vegan, I tried it and I was like, oh, this is really nice, you know? And then I went vegan like a couple months later. I never had it again. But yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to be, I guess, the most open-minded and you felt drawn to use ghee, it is something maybe you could apply topically, but that's if ethically you're good with that, with like using that kind of animal product. Ayurveda is also really big on cooking with oil, cooking everything and cooking with oils and using oils. And how I tend to like get around that is, you know, apply that oil topically, do some oil pooling, do the self massage with oil, use essential oils. You could even do oil on the crown of your head, you know, oil on your face. I had Ayurvedic massages where they're pouring like so much oil down the head, and it was just like with herbs. It was such a weird massage. It was not like your standard massage. The massage was more about the herbs and the oil than it was about like relaxation, because it really didn't feel that good. But yeah, so I'm Vata Pitta. What dosha are you? If you know a dosha, your dosha, you could share your dosha. I find Vata Pitta does really well with raw. Vata is the dosha that can get a bit too high, especially if you are not eating enough or if you are not eating fat every day. I think that's when Vata gets like way out of control, and you start seeing, you know, the really dry, brittle hair, the dry, brittle skin, you know, like not enough oil in all the places, not enough like, yeah, wateriness in all the places. And yeah, if having your hair fall out, things like that. So, and greens, so greens and vegetables, and eating enough fruit, calories, and eating the fat regularly is really, really important to keep Vata in check. Because that seems to be the biggest problem with raw. Because like the kaphas do well on raw because they'll lose their weight, you know, and like start feeling better. You clear out the mucus and all of that. So kapha tends to do pretty well too. And you know, it can be tricky when you're like different combinations of things, as we were just talking about with the pitta kapha combination. But I believe pitta kapha can do really well on a raw diet too, because you have that pitta that needs to cool down, and you have the kapha more mucousy or holding on to weight tendencies, and that will be soothed by an appropriately balanced and well planned raw vegan diet, as well as the mental aspects. So you know, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, yeah, eating a raw diet is going to do good things for your mind because it's going to be doing good things for your gut. But at the same time, it's still important to incorporate those other practices that will allow for a balanced mind, you know, clear thinking, good emotions where, you know, you're feeling the feelings, but like you're able to relate to them and deal with and handle whatever's coming up in a graceful way, and you know, way, bringing presence and awareness, and like staying calm and detached, and responding rather than reacting. So you know, you can eat all the perfect foods and still kind of be an emotional mess. There's that need for the emotional work, and that's where like the pranayama can be really helpful, like alternate nostril breathing, and just you know, deep breaths. There are so many different kinds of pranayama depending on your dosha. I talk about that in my book, which kinds of pranayama are good for which dosha, because some breathing techniques are more cooling, some like breath of fire where you're like, you know, inhaling really sharply through the abdomen, can be very heating. So there's pranayama for everything. The meditation is so helpful as well. Spending time in nature, connection, sunshine, fresh water, all of these things just as important as eating the raw food. Okay, so next question, where can I find a list of foods for Vata? And you can find that in my new book. Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 3 lays out all the foods for each dosha, which fruits are best, most optimal, which vegetables are best, most optimal, which, sprouted legumes, nuts, seeds, and spices, miscellaneous foods. It's all there for a raw diet. I'm not including like potatoes or rice, like things you would not eat raw. But yeah, that is all in my book. So you can find your list of approved foods for Vata in Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 3. The link for that is in my bio for the ebook. Get 11% off with code JOYFUL, and the paperback link is there too. What else do I want to say about that? You can also find lists online, but mine is just like raw specific, raw focused. And that's like also about that, I put all the lists in my book and I was like, we can all eat foods that maybe aren't the optimal foods for Vata too. It depends how that given food reacts in your body, responds, how that works for you or does not work for you. Something could be the most optimal. Let's say carrots, like carrots and beets and all the root veggies are like Vata amazing foods, very grounding, grows in the earth, gonna like ground that Vata air energy that needs the grounding. And let's say for you can't digest it. You can't digest the carrot, or it doesn't work, or it really bloats you or something. Well, in that case, lay off the carrots. They're not working for you. Or you find that you can't eat them, just snacking on the carrot sticks, or when they're grated on your salad, that doesn't work, but you blend them up into a carrot soup and suddenly it does work for you. So, you got to experiment and find what works in your own body. And just because something doesn't digest well for you in its whole form, like, say like whole walnuts, if you're blending that into a salad dressing, maybe it does digest really well and doesn't cause any issues. So there's a lot of like flexibility and wiggle room, but the lists are handy initially just to figure out and start thinking about what foods are best for your dosha. That can be very helpful, especially if you're quite out of balance. All right, this is a fun question. This will be more of a, let me see what the other one is though too before I do that one. Yeah, I'll do this one next. Okay, what do I need to get started growing microgreens? Well, you gotta have your enthusiasm, your willingness to be like taken over by them, because oh my God, I only started doing this like not that long ago. October, right? It's December. I've been doing this for like 2 months and I'm like obsessed with it now. So warning, that can happen. So I'll take y'all over here to where my microgreen stuff is and show y'all what's going on. So really, okay, this is my setup, but you don't need all of this to start. I started with this. I started with a tray. This is a tray 10 by 20 with no holes. I got this at one of the garden supply shops. And this is what you need for on the bottom, because you pour water into it and there are no holes. It stays in the tray. This is good. I started with, I think, 2 trays like this and 1 tray like this. And you can see in this one does have holes. You can kind of see they're like a strange shape. It's from the same place where I got the other tray from. And so that's really what you need. Okay, why do you need 2 of these? Well, because you do like this. I'm just gonna put this on the floor. That goes on the bottom. Then you got the tray with holes on top. And then you use, here, I'll show y'all in this example here. You turn one of the ones without holes upside down like this, and it covers the little seedlings. And it's blacked out. And you need to be able to black out for the first few days. so that is what you need at a minimum. Now you can see here, I'm really fancy. I've got this random dish towel that helps with the blackout process. So you may want to have some dish towels, some dark towels too. I usually use a darker towel, but I wasn't trying to be like too strict about completely blacking this out. The next thing you need after you got your trays and some towels for helping, optional crystals, okay? That's just me because I love crystals. The next thing you need is seeds, and these are an example of seeds I have from True Leaf Market. There's nothing on the back, but these are Sango purple radish. You can also sprout these in jars. So I've actually been sprouting these in jars. I ordered these from True Leaf Market. I have a coupon in my bio link. It's a $5 off. It's a refer a friend coupon, and you can use it and get $5 off. And I'm not an affiliate, but I get reward points for that, and I can use those to buy more seeds. So yeah, that does help me out because as you can see, I've got quite the habit. Okay, so initially I didn't order from True Leaf Market. I just picked these up from the local health food store, and you may want to check at your health food store. They might have sprouting seeds, and these, okay, right, they're called sprouting seeds, but you can use them, sprouting them in jars. I've used these very same seeds. It was actually this exact seed that I used to grow my first tray of microgreens. So depending on the seed, you can just use something like this and grow microgreens with it, even though it says sprouting. The same is true for this one. This is the purple Sango radish, and technically, a sprouting seed for in the jars, but you can grow microgreens with this. So it can be kind of confusing, but don't stress out. So you got your seeds, either from your health food store, True Leaf Market, or somewhere else. Next thing you need is your growing medium, and we have this giant, eyesore of a Costco bin here. And what's inside is potting soil. Yes, potting soil. You see there are lots of the white specks. You want potting soil, friends. This is not something to, just be like, oh, whatever, like I can get whatever kind of soil and use everything. Get potting soil, especially if you live in a humid environment like me in Hawaii, okay? It is so moist here that even this soil, the reason I didn't have it like covered all the way is because it will grow mold if I clamp this down all the way. So I leave it open so that there's some airflow in it. And the soil works really well, but you don't want to get, you seriously want to get, indoor container potting soil. You do not want to get like a mulchy soil, like with lots of chunks in it, or anything that is for outdoor growing or like trees or something. Do not use that. I did that and it holds way too much moisture and you will get mold and have issues. Some of mine I sowed, y'all, it was terrible. I sowed like 5 trays of using this mulchy soil, and I think 3 of them I had to completely throw out. But maybe I sowed 6, and my buckwheat was okay, my peas were okay, and my sunflowers were okay because they are just like champion seeds and they love the soil. So they did okay in the mulch soil. But don't, take your chances. Just get a potting soil, especially if you're somewhere humid or you're like me in the tropics where you're not in like a climate controlled space, right? Like I don't have air conditioning. I don't have heat. My windows are open all the time. It's very moist in here because it's Hawaii and it's tropical and it's brilliant. But, there's some issues. So there's soil, get potting soil. You can get that from Home Depot or your local garden supplier or any kind of grow shop. Or you can grow hydroponically or on an alternative medium. I don't think this is technically hydroponic. what I got here is what I've heard many wonderful things about from Miss Tanny Raw and her community is, here, I'll show y'all, the Hemp Roll. Yes, the Hemp Roll. And friends, it is very magical. You can get this on Amazon. It's many, many feet. I can't remember, maybe 120. And what you do is it fits perfectly, these 10 by 20 trays, because it's 10 inches wide. And what I did is I just measured it out against the tray, and I had some already pre-cut. I just pre-cut these myself, and it makes it really easy. And so far, I'm using it for seeds that can grow hydroponically and can grow without soil, and they've been doing really, really well. This is quite expensive. It was like $90 or something, but it is a lot of roll. And, you know, you save in other ways because you can get like the full crop out of it, and it's not messy, and I find it to be really worth it. So if you're curious about it, you can just order like maybe 10 of them to try, see if you like it. So far I really, really like it. I'm really glad I got the roll. I have actually had an issue with mold with amaranth, which is like, oh my God, the most finicky microgreen. I'm still kind of perfecting and figuring out how it likes to grow, because like a couple times I've grown it, it's been great, and then a couple times it's like not been great. So, and I've had to trash parts of it, unfortunately. So yeah, you've got your seeds, you've got your containers, you have your growing medium. Other growing mediums you can use, some people use unbleached paper towels. That can work. Some people use cheesecloth. That can work. Coconut coir. I don't know anything about that, but you can use that. And I'm trying to think, is there any other way? Maybe y'all know another way. But there are various ways. You can buy other kinds of hydroponic grow mats. I almost bought this one from True Leaf Market. It just like looked good. It was like 100. They were all pre-cut. And I was like, that looks like a very easy way to go. You don't have to deal with the hemp, kind of like when you cut it, some of the fibers kind of go all over the place. It has a bit of a smell, which I don't mind, but you know, once you have your like razor sharp raw vegan extra sensory nose smells, it's like everything smells a lot. But yeah, you can buy a different kind of hydroponic grow mat. There are different ones out there. So that's what you need. Let me see what else I said you need. Yeah, seeds, growing container, growing medium. Oh yeah, so yeah, very basic here. You need a spray bottle, right? This is really important when you're like germinating them, because when you put down the soil, you spray the soil really well, you sprinkle out the seeds. You can use a little like spice shaker, like one of those, save one of those to sprinkle the seeds. That really helps get them even. And then you sprinkle the seeds and you're gonna spray even more. And I just got this at the local garden supply too. And I fill it with my water here, which is rainwater water catchment. You might wanna do filtered water or something if your tap water is sketchy, which most places tap water is sketchy. I'm just really blessed. Everything in Hawaii, it's like rainwater catchment, so it's like really nice water. I don't drink it. I could if I had a UV filter on it, which one day I will, but that's not today. So another thing you can put in the water is some kind of solution like this. I got this on Amazon. Yeah, I was recommended a different one, but this is what I got because it was like not that expensive, and I thought, why not? I'm gonna try this one. I wanted to try it and not buy like a huge quantity of something because I didn't know how much I was gonna like the hemp mats either. So you need that at a minimum. If you're using soil, you don't need any solution. You can even get away with no solution even if you're not using soil. But I was like, yeah, extra minerals, cool. Okay, what else? LED grow lights. Okay, we'll flip you around again so y'all can see. All right, so first light, okay, this one is not up in action. As you can see, it's because I haven't needed to use this top space, but this is one on Amazon. It has two different heads. There's one head, and then the other head is like underneath there. I had it positioned for me to take photos down on this little table right here, so that at nighttime I can turn it on and it's like bam, bright. But yeah, when I have all my trays going, I will have that light on as well. And it's got two controllers, so you can have both on at the same time or just one or the other. Amazon, that was like maybe 20 bucks, something like that. Then I've got, this is my favorite light here. This one, it's a 4-foot light, LED. I got it at the local garden supply shop. It's got a nice little chain there with the on off. Yeah, check out my camel back there. I know, it's really cute. And yeah, this light was expensive. It was like 80-90 bucks. So yeah, but you don't have to spend that much money. I got these here from Ace Hardware, these little LED lights, that one and then the other one. Those were $20 each. You could find different things at Home Depot, shop for what's on sale. But the idea is to get a LED grow light. Now, do you absolutely need a grow light? No. If you have a really sunny place to put these, then forget about it. You don't need a grow light. But it is dark in this little space here. You know, there's lots of bright light energy inside, but there is not so much like natural light. So it was really important for me to get the grow lights so that the leaves can really fully develop. Yeah, but that's it. I think that's all my notes here. What else we got? Yeah, okay, like at its most basic, you need tray, seed, soil, water bottle, sunny spot. You don't have to have the whole setup, but you can do as much as you like. And you'll also see humidity domes. That's what that thing on top is. Now, I haven't used that really at all, so you can get away without that too. All right, that's it. I'll also show y'all while we're here, like what's going on. These are peas, third harvest, friends, third harvest, right? You sow one tray of seeds. I've gotten 3 harvests, and this isn't even the whole thing. So I have all of this here, and I have another 2 cups here ready to go in my smoothie. Peas are awesome, definitely one of my favorites, and they do require soil. And guess what? Okay, that's where they are up here. I'm going to see if I can get a 4th. I'm just, why not? And that's why I left so much stem. And I bet I will see some of these leaf up. So that's what's going on there. Those are in soil. I've got endive going in soil too. I've been selectively harvesting this one several days now, and y'all can see the leaves have gotten quite large. They're in like a baby salad mode. And where I've already harvested, it's popping up. Like it's too funny. Because over here, so I harvested this earlier this week. It's growing back right again. So endive, I'm definitely a fan of that too. So that's what's going on with soil. Then I've got the Ultimate Hydroponic Grow Mix here. That's a True Leaf Market blend. So good, y'all. I'm not kidding. This is my new favorite. This is broccoli, mustard, amaranth, and arugula. Y'all, it tastes so good. And it's so pretty. Like, maybe I'll come over here. I keep going around. I'm sorry. We're moving so much. Y'all can see better. I'm going to turn you sideways. But you can see the like white and pinkness of it. It's so pretty. Like, it's so pretty and it's so tasty. The flavor is so good. Y'all, this mix alone is worth checking out True Leaf Market. I'm definitely going to buy like a 5-pound bag of it in the future because it's so freaking tasty and it's so pretty. All right, so this is broccoli here, I believe, and that's on the hemp mat. You can see the hemp underneath. Really healthy crop. I just brought these to the light yesterday. Then up here, what do we have? We have another one. This is kale. Brought these to the light a little bit, maybe 2 days ago, and they're doing really well. Like, I could eat these now, and they are growing on the hemp mat too. I'm gonna keep let them grow a little longer. And then in the blackout here, we have the amaranth on top and then cabbage underneath. And I'm not going to disturb those right now. And yeah, here's passion fruit that I found on the side of the road. I don't even have to buy it anymore. It's really nice. Yeah, that's it for the microgreens. You know, you can just start out with seeds, soil, tray, sunny spot. That's really all you need. That's what I started with. And then as you're comfortable, you can, you know, get fancy with it and like get grow lights or not, you know. Like I said, if you have a sunny enough spot, you don't need the grow lights. Okay, so that's microgreen 101. Pretty much. And just start, y'all. Like, I didn't know what I was doing when I started. I've had to ditch trays because of mold. It's okay. Like, it's all good. Just start growing. And if you're like, microgreens, like, that's so lights, trays, soil, just start with sprouting and, like, get really comfortable with that. And that's really amazing, too. I don't have anything sprouting right now. I just harvested the last of my purple radish. They're in the fridge now, and I don't want to start anything before I go on Sunday. So that's what's going on there. But yeah, you can sprout and really be cruising and get a lot of living foods in that way, and it can be very streamlined and easy for you. Last question we'll finish with. Let me have some celery juice. I'm talking so much. This is so good. Okay. This is a big question, too. What do you wish you knew before you began your healing journey? I wish I knew everything I know now. Short answer. But quick, you know, more in-depth answer. I think that healing is a process, that this health journey is a process. That process is non-linear. To think that you know, you're gonna start out like with really poor health and just go meh, you know, to glowing, radiant, like vibrant, amazing health. It might happen like that, but chances are it's not going to. The same is true, has been true for me with like a weight loss journey too, to think that, oh, you just start here and then you do the thing and you go there. That didn't happen either. And a lot of that was like mindset things and like getting confused. And yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute, but just know the process is not always linear, and that's normal and natural and okay. And wherever you are, it's okay. Just like keep doing the thing, keep being consistent, keep yourself motivated. It takes time to find the right way to do vegan, for example. And for me, that right way is to do raw vegan. And then it took even more time to find out the right way for me to do raw vegan. And then to heal my mindset and create and put in place all the habits that needed to be in place for me to do this finally like right way to do raw vegan, to actually make it happen and actually make it my everyday life. So it takes time, it takes education, it takes experimentation. It can take, you know, taking different programs, really like group coaching, one-on-one coaching, nutrition course, any of these things to really get solid in what you're doing. Work with a holistic nutritionist or a health coach. You know, all of these things can be very, very helpful. And that will reduce your time. Oh yeah, I'm glad you're resonating with that, because it has not been linear for me, and it's not been easy. It's been confusing, and like me getting in my own way and like taking on other people's projections. Yeah, you've been on a raw vegan journey for 2 years now and still struggling. Yeah, it can take a long time to figure out how to do raw. Like, I'm 6 years in. I started trying to be raw vegan in 2014, and like just now, you know, just lately have I really feeling like I've got it dialed in. You know, I thought I had it really dialed in like 2 years ago, but then all this like global drama hit, and like I started kind of, whoa, like getting a little shaky. But yeah, it can take time to figure out how to do it in a way that works for you, and like to get the results you want, because so many different people are saying different things too. They're like, this person's saying you need this many calories and like all fruit. This person's saying, you shouldn't eat any fruit at all. You need to only be eating greens, and like you need to be doing high fat. It's confusing. Some people saying, like I said, calories matter, calories don't matter. Focusing all on the fruit or all on the greens and fat, or, just so many different ways that can just maybe not be right for you. And I definitely experimented with many of those ways. And yeah, I think that's a natural part of it. Another big thing I wish I knew is that body, mind, soul, and spirit all have to be nurtured all of the time. And I think I did know that intuitively, but like the actual application of that was challenging, with times where I was really focusing on the physical and like letting the other things slide, or really focusing on the mental, emotional, letting the physical slide, or just focusing on the spiritual, and like the physical was like, forget about it, like really not there. Everyone says different things on different protocols. Some say eat as many avocados, some say don't eat that much fat. Yeah, that's where you gotta like, tune in with yourself, what resonates with you, and also educate yourself. Yeah, it's hard, because it's like you think you're educating yourself by listening to these people, but like it can be helpful to like read some books too. Like stop listening to all the people, and like the 80-10-10 diet is a good one to read. I don't agree with everything in there, but like there are some fundamentals in there that I think are really, really helpful to know. And studying other, I think like here would be, if I could go back in time, I think I probably would have taken Rick and Carandina's raw food nutrition course right out the gate, and really learned raw food nutrition and like what our bodies need and in what ratios. And because I mean, from 80-10-10, I didn't fully take away like the longevity aspect, and like how to make it like fun enough and like tasty enough. And I think I didn't understand like the fruit and green balance quite enough. Yeah, is it good? I haven't done it. Yeah. I want to do it. I will do it in the future. I've heard really good things. My friend Tina did it. Tina Suze. You can check her out on Instagram. She really, I was like, I asked her so many questions. I'm like, what did the Dina say about omega-3? What did the Dina say about DHA? What did the Dina say about D3? And I'm like, hearing myself, I'm like, Taylor, I just need to take the freaking course. And I do. But yeah, I think it would be worth it if you are struggling with raw and you want to know very clear cut, like what the optimal, how everything works. Another good thing to do is the Tanny Raw Reset, friends. Like that's where it's at. I really like that program, resonates deeply for me and has worked really well for me. So I would look there too. It's much more affordable. And the Dinas do have some good videos on their YouTube channel too for free. Their omega-3 video series is really, really good. Another thing real big that I wish I knew was that water fasting needs to be done with proper guidance and a strong plan with coaching for after the fast ends. And I mean this, it's like, if you're thinking about water fasting, a long water fast, and like, you hear that you need coaching and guidance and a retreat, but like the Dina's course, like a fasting retreat often costs like 2 or 3 times as much as the Dina's course costs. And maybe you can't stop your life for 30 days to do a long water fast, but like realistically that's what you need to do. At the very least, get the distant coaching that I know some educators give out, but I think a medically supervised water fast is the way to go. And if I could go back in time, I would have consulted with True North Fasting Center. I think they do a pretty reasonably priced fast. Actually, that's not like 20 grand or something insane. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I would have consulted with them, seen if a water fast was actually appropriate for me, fasted there, and then if at that time I knew I wanted to be raw vegan afterwards, I would have gotten the help and support of a raw vegan coach. And if I was doing more of a high raw plant-based approach, then creating a plan and having a coach help me with that, because I've done several long water fasts, and I've been able to stick to like a strict refeeding regimen maybe the first couple of months, but sometimes like it would be like 4 or 5 months later, like hunger would return really, really hard, and I really could have used a coach and like a very solid plan with support in order to stick to that plan and not end up in the vegan Ben and Jerry's when stress levels got really, really high. So I really wish I would have known that and like honored that completely, because water fasting, a long-term water fast, I'm not talking about 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. I'm talking about like 10 or more days, 21 days, 28 days, 30 days, 40 days, that kind of water fast. Supervision, medical supervision probably would be the ultimate. And yeah, I wish I would have done that. I feel like True North probably wouldn't have even fasted me, probably, but I don't know. I can't know. Another thing I wish I knew was that all good things need a proper dose. You need the right amount of calories, you need the right amount of fruit, the right amount of greens, the right amount of plant fats, the right amount of exercise, not too little, not crazy amounts over exercise, the right amount of sunshine with sun protection, because I tend to get too much sun because I love it. The right amount of rest, so you're not like lounging all the time, but you're also not like go, 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 never stopping. The right amount of meditation, because yours truly has overdosed on the meditation before and then had periods where I can't sit either. So knowing that too much or too little, just because it's a good thing like exercise, doesn't mean, oh my god, I need to train like 6 hours a day, even though I'm not an like a training for the Olympics or something. Like there is a right amount to train. The same with the calories. I keep saying the calories, but that's been a real stumbling block for me, to not just be like more, get enough calories, get enough calories, get enough calories. It's like, yes, get enough calories, but not, my body doesn't need 2,000 plus calories to maintain the weight I like to be at, and 2,000 is like the minimum a lot of people say to eat, and some people don't need that much. Another thing I wish I knew at the beginning of my healing journey was that I never needed to go on Accutane, birth control pill, and psych meds, that I could have just done some really intensive therapy, 12-step work, group work, shamanic healing, Reiki healing, all the healers, probably some nice body work too, gotten a lot of support for acne, that I could have just done a juice cleanse, like a 30-day juice cleanse, followed by a high raw vegan program afterwards, and then my acne would completely go away, and I didn't need to poison myself with Accutane and the birth control pill, which they require you to take because Accutane is so toxic that it would kill a fetus or cause like severe birth defects. So I really, really wish I would have done that. After I had my spiritual awakening 2012, I was on psych meds for like over a year, and then the Accutane for about 6 months, and I woke up and was like, I had this whole light bulb go off where I was like, I need to get off all of this stuff, and I did, and I ended up doing a juice cleanse followed by a high raw program Dr. Furman's program, a nutritarian, nutrient-dense, eat-to-live approach to a vegan diet. And guess what? All my acne went away, and my mental, emotional situation leveled out quite a lot too. So I did ultimately do what I needed to do, but I really wish at the outset I would have known that, and I could have skipped over like poisoning myself with those pharmaceuticals. This is a huge one. I really wish I would have known back then that people would give me a really hard time when I went raw in particular. When I went vegan, I had kind of a hard time, but raw was like next level, getting picked on like relentlessly. That I needed to just have a thick skin and ignore them and realize they were just saying stuff to say stuff and to pick on me and project their own insecurities on me, and I didn't have to take any of that on. Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things at the beginning of a raw vegan journey is like the scrutiny from others, and you're not really sure what you're doing, which is where the education piece comes into play so much. The more you're educated, the more you're motivated, the more you're sure, and you start getting results and trusting the results and trusting what you're doing, then the easier it is to just brush off when people are giving you a hard time. But if you're really like kind of insecure at the beginning, you're a target for other people's hate, and that really threw me off, and I know has thrown many other people off. So you just got to be like, talk to the hand because the face ain't listening, and just go on with yourself. I wish I would have known that I could be perfectly healthy without a bleed, without a period. I wish I would have known that. That I didn't need to pack on a whole lot of weight to get my period, my bleeding back. And that I could still be healthy, that I could be healthy without a period. I wish I would have known that. I don't think that is like talked about enough, that can be an option for you. Like, you can ovulate and not bleed and be a healthy woman with balanced hormones. And in fact, the Taoists say that that's one of the keys to longevity and maintaining your youthfulness of mind and body is to reduce the menstrual flow, to reduce the amount you bleed, and that will actually help you long term to flow into a graceful menopause. And that when we are bleeding a lot and having really painful periods and clots and cramps and all of that and symptoms, that means that just we're having a huge energy leak. Whereas if you're not bleeding so much and you're having a milder period, that's actually a very good sign that you're retaining energy, and that's going to help you live a more healthy, long, full, awesome life. So I was happy to read that from the Taoist perspective. That's something my massage therapist actually mentioned to me, because she was like, tell me more about this raw vegan diet. Now, do you have your period, or how is your period? And I was like, I don't bleed. And she was like, oh my God, that's so cool. That's like what the Taoists talk about. And I was like, ooh, you tell me more. I need to look into this. So yeah, I think, no flow, no energy loss. It can be okay. This really tripped me out for a while because I had this whole thing in my head that because I had lost my period and that was unhealthy, I needed to get it back, and that like raw vegan couldn't work for me because I didn't have a period. And so like I stopped doing raw, started putting on a lot of weight, and I did get my period back, but at what cost? I was then overweight and didn't feel good in my body or in my skin. I didn't feel like I wanted to exercise. All I wanted to do was sit around and meditate, which was really great, but was not good for my physical health ultimately. I also wish, this is kind of repeating, but I wish I would have known the importance of adequate fat on a raw vegan diet, like to have some fat every day, really to have plenty of greens, vegetables, and living foods, to have adequate calories, but not, oh my God, eat all the calories, and not, oh my God, eat none of the calories, adequate calories. The calories matter. And that overall, that I would have just known to be patient and trust the healing process. Trust the process by being consistent. every day, consistent, and no matter what, be consistent. Show up for you every day, and with every choice, choose health and happiness. Bam. That's it. Yeah, those are all the things I wish I would have known. That's it. There are probably other things, but that's what I wrote down, and this is getting really long. We've been on for over an hour, so I will just end by saying check out the new book, Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 3. It is linked in my bio, or I will put this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will be linked in the description. You can get 11% off with code JOYFUL, all caps, of the ebook. And the paperback is available, and it is very beautiful. It would be a great Christmas present. Yeah, so next week I'm not planning on doing a live. There will not be a live Q&A. I might come on live, like for fun, doing something else, but there will not be this regular live Q&A. But yeah, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. This was fun. I hope it was informative for you, and much love to you. I hope you have a beautiful Tuesday. Namaste.